Offer.
Oh, thanks. Enjoy the show, cock-a-doodle-doo. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hey, everyone.
Special episode of Soul Sister Special here. It's Wednesday night, April 13th. We have got a show for you. And I wanted to start out first, just welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. And Sherry and Bev, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate you too. I love you guys so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. I want to start out this episode, if it's okay with everybody, just a really quick intention to keep everybody protected. So everybody just take a nice deep breath in, if you don't mind. Hold it for just a second. And then on your out breath, just visualize everything leaving, all the stress, anything bothering you, anything that's inside of you, anything you're holding, anything in your tum-tum, anything in your shoulders, anything that you're carrying that doesn't serve the highest good. Take another deep breath in, hold it, and then release. Allowing full protection of the divine to protect anyone in this stream, anyone watching, anyone connected quantumly, just to be fully protected in this now space. And so it is.
It is.
So welcome, welcome, welcome. Bev, you have got some interesting things to talk about, don't you? And it's not like a whole bunch of stuff, but what do we have coming up on Saturday? Tell us.
We got the Libra full moon coming up on Saturday. That's a pretty big deal. And we're also under the influence of that once in a lifetime conjunction between Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces. So there's a lot that's coming through, and that will also be in effect during that Libra full moon. So there's quite a bit that we're going to go through over the next week here.
You want to know what's a kicker? I kept thinking the whole time, this is a new moon coming up. It was like I kept flipping back onto a new moon. And even when I was making the title of this, I had to talk to you earlier and be like, okay, well, what should we call this? Like what's coming up? And then when you said full moon in Pisces, I was like, oh, water, watch the water. So I have to just ask, like, or mention, if you have not seen Watch the Water yet, the documentary by Stu Peters over there, he has it on Rumble. It's less than an hour. He's got Dr. Artis on there, and boy, oh boy, is it blowing wide open. So like there's a lot of truths coming out about a lot of stuff, and all I can say is buckle up, Buttercup. Buckle up.
Oh yeah.
Is this tied in with the astrology or what? Like, what is setting the precedent for all this?
It's like I started talking about. We started into the new year with Aries season, and it's like a whole cycle that goes through. And we've got that Neptune and Jupiter conjunction in Pisces that started yesterday, but that was felt from the 8th, and it will last until the 17th. And that's what we're really feeling a lot of right now. It's that Pisces energy, and Neptune is conjunct Jupiter. So Neptune is about our intuition, other realms, and Jupiter is expanding that because they're in conjunction with each other. So Jupiter is expanding and making that even bigger. And being in Pisces, it's the last zodiac signs. You're finishing up, you're cleaning out, you're taking those deep dives again, the ones that you thought maybe that, what do you need to do and what do you need to surrender? What do I need going forward and what needs to be surrendered? So it's still going through a big old cleanse there for the next, like I said, up until the 17th. It's a big, powerful energy in the scope of all this.
Wow.
You said that's going the 17th. So that's happening while the full moon is approaching on Saturday.
Yes.
I mean, everything just feels like you said with Jupiter expands everything, right? This just all feels so expansive, but we can't have a cleanup until we have the exposure of truth, because how can you clean up something that you don't know about? Right?
Exactly. And I did some of Laura Walker's stuff. I read her stuff and got some of her books, and she talks about the Sabian symbols. And the Sabian symbols, there are 360 degrees in the zodiac wheel, and each degree point has a Sabian symbol. And the Sabian symbol for this Neptune and Jupiter conjunction in Pisces is the purging of the priesthood. And that's all I'm going to say. I find it very interesting. I think a lot of things are going to come up and out.
All
in
right.
a
First,
lot of places.
yes, definitely. A lot of things are already coming out. That's the thing. I would just want to say hi to everybody watching there, making comments. Stephanie and
Everyone.
Scotty Boy, Angels, hugs to Bell. They're getting so big. I just sending loves, hugs, and kisses. Scotty Boy, to answer your thing, you're hearing a lot about what it's about. Okay, watch the waters. What it's about is the truth about what's happened over the last couple of years to us by the deep state. Okay, what did they do? And you can use your own discernment. Yes, it could be all propaganda. It could be all BS, but use your discernment when you watch. You may not like the approach that Stu Peters has. You may not be super religious or Christian or feel that way or whatever. Like, what is a true Christian anyway? One has to ask themselves. Okay, this documentary exposes what COVID really is, and how, like, okay, I'll just say, like, it exposes a whole layer of truth that you never would have even imagined. If you were going to imagine, like, what kind of evil could be done, you never would have imagined this. And it's not the graphene oxide. It's not those things. I mean, a little bit that's in there with the magnetics and stuff, the nanoparticles that are magnetic. Yes, some of that's in there, but it's an exposure. So you want to see it. If you guys can't find the link or don't know where it is or don't have Rumble and you need some kind of link, send me an email, lindalight2012@gmail.com. I'll send you the link privately. I can't send you the video there, but I'll send you a link to it. You might have to get a Rumble account to watch it, or you might be able to, I think you can watch it without a Rumble account. I'm not sure how that works, but send me an email if you want the link, if you can't find it, and I'm happy to send it to you. Just buckle up before you watch it. Yeah. So Pisces is the full moon. So this is all building up. The full moon is all about not starting new stuff. It's about releasing things, right? Or no? Yes.
Well, no, we're going to the Neptune and Jupiter conjunction in Pisces. That's what's bringing things up and out. That's with the heightenment of spiritual intuition, spiritual gifts. Everything is being supported by Jupiter, making them bigger. So right now, it's during that 8th through the 17th is a time when you're going to find the new spiritual gifts. You're going to do the purging. And that's building up to that Libra full moon on Saturday. So Pisces is playing a big part in all this right now because we've got the Neptune and the Jupiter conjunction, but also Mars is getting ready to enter Pisces. You're going to have there's going to be squares to the nodes, just a lot of different things going on as it builds up. So first you got to look at it in layers. You look at it as, okay, we've got that Neptune, I can't say that right tonight.
Neptune
Conjunction. So you got that. Then you have Mars entering Pisces. So Pisces, the higher expressions is dealing with your intuition, going to those deeper levels, going through the abyss and finding those things. But the lower expressions can also be escapism. It can be overwhelmed, very emotional. I don't know if anybody else felt the emotions yesterday, but yeah, the emotions have been pretty heavy. And I feel that we're getting support coming through, though, when we have that Libra full moon on Saturday. There's going to be support coming through, and it'll help kind of calm that Pisces overwhelm. And it'll be, Mars is also entering Pisces right before the full moon, which is going to also, Mars is going to kind of float through Pisces and just kind of go with the flow. So it kind of slows things down. Where Mars is more of a go, go, go. In Pisces, he's going to kind of slow things down so you can see and be discerning as these things come up. It's helping you to have that discernment and that balance, because Libra is all about balance, relationships, looking at both sides of the coin, being able to detach. So you're looking at it. You have the Libra the Libra fairness, and from Pisces you have to learn to detach, so you can kind of meet in the middle there and do the discerning and see what is true for me. A lot of information coming in, so a lot of discernment. There's going to be a lot of support for that during this time.
It's interesting, Bev, because there's a lot of opposing energy. It's almost like what you call squares, right? Because you've got you've got Pisces and Aries season, which are total opposites, right? And then you've just all these other, how does that, I mean, besides what you're saying, like, how do we balance that? That's like really, that's crazy. I'm asking kind of rhetorically. That's a lot.
Well, that's okay, because during all this, okay, so we had the April 12th conjunction, the once in a lifetime Neptune and Jupiter. We have Mars entering Pisces tomorrow. And then we have the 16th with the Libra full moon. And this is going to go from the 16th of April until the 26th. We have Saturn in Aquarius squaring the nodes of fate, the north and south node.
Wow.
So this is all happening at the same time. The fact that all these are occurring at the same time just blows my mind. It's like we're having this support. So Saturn is saying, okay, Saturn's like the parent that comes in and says, all right, it's in Aquarius, so it's looking to the future, but it's all about timing. And it's squaring the nodes of fate. Are we going to stay back here in the south node with the old ways? Oh, wait a minute, we're going through the Pluto return and saying, no, we're shaking up the systems and all that. So now let's take that energy and move it forward into the north node. But Saturn's going to make you be responsible about it.
And still looking back at the past in order to kind of learn the lessons from the past and bringing those up. So, wow, that's some crazy energy.
It is. With that Libra full moon also, letting you be able to step back. And it's going to be a lot in relationships. And it's relationship of everything, your relationship to other people in your life, your relationship to everything, pretty much, yourself, even your self-worth, your self-value. It's standing back and really weighing things out and looking at it. And we've got all the support there from Spirit with that Neptune and Jupiter. Saturn squaring the nodes. It can be a bad thing. It's more like a halt and a stop, but it's looking out for your own and best interest. If you take the time to look at it and see, okay, let's weigh this out. Is this for the long term? Because Saturn rules Capricorn, which is about the long-term goals. It's not about a short fix, a quick fix. No, this is long-term. What can we lay in place to make things better?
Wow.
We're getting comments from people. Welcome if we didn't say hello to you yet. Amy,
Hello, everybody.
and let's see, Jeanette I saw in there, and Diane, welcome. Anybody, if I didn't say hi to you, sorry about that. I got a message on my end, just so you know, it said that something went wrong. Everything looks like it's broadcasting, and it looks like you guys are commenting. So if you all want to just throw in a little thumbs up or a little hi or just an LOL, I don't care. Just do something, because I just want to see who's here. Hi, Conscious. I just want to make sure it's okay, because it was telling me something went wrong, and I was sitting there for a minute like, wait a minute, but we'll just keep going. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Is the balance that you were saying, how do we balance all that rhetorical question you asked, Sherry?
Yes.
I guess that's like when you said, is it the rest of this week going to be tough? Or you mean with this week going from now till Wednesday, or is it going to be like
I'm looking through
balancing coming in?
Right after Easter. I'm kind of looking between now and next Wednesday, because this is when we have all this major stuff coming in. So I didn't go any further than that, because I'm going to add another layer to this. Okay, what I've just told you now.
Here, buckle up, guys.
More.
Wait, I'm not done. And this is all happening within 3 days. So we have that. We have the Saturn square to the nodes on April 16th. We have the Libra full moon on the 16th. And then the 17th, we have Mercury sextiling Venus, and we have Mercury conjunct Uranus. That's interesting, because Mercury is looked at as the physical linear mind, and Uranus is the cosmic mind. So they are together talking this through. And Uranus is saying, Spirit is saying, hey, look over here. Wait a minute, did you see this? So we have the support during it. It's all about its choice points. Choice points are coming up, and a lot of it right now is trust in Spirit with that Neptune and Jupiter conjunction. You may not know, you may kind of see things, and you have ideas, and you think, well, how can this happen? You may not have the actual steps in place, but connections are being made. Because when we have that solar eclipse in Taurus at the end of the month, which I'll go into next time a little further, that's connecting the dots and putting the pieces in place. So it's just like it's all laid out beautifully to me.
I could see how it is kind of like a star map in its own sense, like the universal one. But I was thinking with the you know how we always say go within, you do the work within, blah, blah, blah. And there's people out there that would really like to take, not anybody that watches this channel. Hello, Patricia, welcome to the stream. Nobody that watches this channel, like we all do the inner work, right? But you know how people kind of want to take the shortcut, like let's use the tech. It's like, the easy way out, I'll call it. I'm guessing those would be the ones that would probably experience the lower expressions of things and they're being asked to level it up. So like it reminded me this afternoon before we went on the stream, I was reading something about the med beds and those technologies. And we're getting a lot closer to these things. It's just a lot of information that's been coming out. So if they have been installing them and they are available, it's wonderful. But people were asking questions like if they're living an not unhealthy, because what's unhealthy, right? What's unhealthy? So if they're living that kind of life, like in escapism, alcoholism, nicotine, all these things, like, I still smoke off and on and I'm trying so hard to quit, but I keep going back to it. Well, when you watch the waters, you're going to see something in there about nicotine that's going to blow your mind. Anyhow, I digress. People tend to like look on the outside for a quick fix instead of going on the inside. And I'm being reminded of that again this afternoon. They're saying, oh, well, we can just jump in the med bed and be healed and our lives will be peachy keen. And like, no, it won't. Yeah, maybe your body will be healed, but if you keep doing the same stuff, you're just going to develop the same issues. So we really do have to focus on what we need to let go of and use these astrological alignments and conjunctions and even the squares to help show us the ugliest of the ugly inside of us so that we can say goodbye once and for all. And that's my soapbox for tonight. That I'm done.
There's something too, Lynda, about the Mercury conjunct Uranus. Uranus is the jolter, the awakener. It's the electrical. Uranus will put things the way they're supposed to be. You may not like the way things are put, but Uranus will make it right so it's your highest and best good. And sometimes it'll bring things and jolts and surprises that you couldn't have seen coming, but in the end, it's for your best and highest good. And that's where we're being supported in that Neptune and Jupiter conjunction with the spiritual things. We have the support from spirit. Now, are you going to take that leap and let things be made right? Does Uranus have to shake it up for you to get your attention? And during all this too, with that Libra full moon, on Sunday, we also have Mercury sextiling Venus too, which is making those uncomfortable conversations a little bit easier.
Mm.
So that's something to look at too.
Did you say Sunday?
Sunday, yeah, Easter Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Which could be a little before, little after, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday kind of thing. If Sunday's the actual day of the event. Yeah,
sometimes you'll feel it a day or two before, but then the bigger things, just like that once in a lifetime conjunction, you're feeling that for almost 2 weeks. Wow. But some of these, like Mercury's really fast moving, so usually it's only a day. The slower the planets move, the longer the effects last. So that's why when something's in Pluto, that's one of the slowest moving. Hmm. So that's why Pluto moves so slowly and digs so deeply. It's transformative. So it makes a difference. It lasts for a longer time. And when it switches a degree, it's very important, where when Mercury switches a degree, it's not as important because Pluto takes so long to make its orbit that it really makes sure the lessons are learned and it goes very slowly.
Oh, interesting. We got a lot coming. All right. What are you guys digging into? Sherry, what's been coming up for you this week? What have you been feeling with like everything that I know you've been listening to some astrology too. I know that you've been.
I have. I think like at a personal level, a lot of what Bev is saying is resonating, especially with lessons coming around again. But it's almost like, and this is what I had listened to before we got on too, was that they're coming around, but they're almost showing you like, hey, I actually did a lot of work. Like I'm actually in a good space now. So like you're seeing the lesson from a different aspect, but you're also, like for me, I'm realizing, wow, I have done a lot of work. Like I am in a different space. I am able to hold my center, and that's been coming around for me. But I'm also having some things still come up and having to look at them from a different aspect, like a more, we talked about this a couple of broadcasts ago, like spiritually mature way, like I just seeing them in a more mature way. But I'm feeling things that have been hidden for years are starting all of a sudden in these last couple weeks are right there, and for some, like, it's okay. It's almost like the timing for things to come up had to be right now, that it's been right for that. So I'm seeing a lot of that too. And these uncomfortable conversations you're talking about, those are coming up as well. And they're not as hard as they might have been previously. So the energies are really, like, now I understand what you're saying, Bev. They're really supporting a lot of these shifts where we need them to be supported, like where it was scary before, or it wasn't, we weren't able, or someone else wasn't able to hold it. Like now it's there. We're able to hold that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think too that we're feeling too that things don't resonate anymore. And there's some people you just can't have the conversations with anymore because it's at such a level that it's a lot about, with the balance of Libra too, is about what you do with your energy. Make sure you know where it goes out, and look at where you're giving as well as receiving too, and make a balance in that. So you're seeing these one-sided relationships and ones that are, everything's for a season, a reason, a lot of that's going on too, because it's really focusing a lot on relationships with that Pluto and Capricorn. And you have the full moon in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. Venus has been a player in a lot of this. There's been a lot of feminine energies, and I think that's why things have been softening. Things haven't been quite so hard because we've had the feminine energies coming in and softening things up, and she's had support after that retrograde. First it was from Mars, and now she's going up with Mercury, and she's making her travels through. So yeah, she's finally getting the support, and the feminine energies, I think, are making this a lot easier for everybody.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, because they've been so rough and so action oriented and so like edgy, you know what I mean? Up until they've been very edgy. Yeah. Now they're kind of like, ooh, it's all float, just big surprises, like pleasant surprises, but really an evolution that I don't know. That's the only way I can put it.
Leveling up to what do you think about the evolution of people's discernment? Do you think people devolve in their discernment or just dip down at times? Do you think, I mean, I know we all kind of dip down a little bit, like on a daily, we go up, down, whatever. But do you think people can actually go like take nosedives and then they just completely go in the opposite direction? Like once they're a truther and they're discerning, and all of a sudden they just completely can't see anymore? Do you think that happens?
I believe it does, because I think, it depends on if you're going to look for the higher or the lower expressions, and all of us get pulled back down sometimes, so we have to make sure that when we're discerning that we are in a place of balance, and that we have, we're grounded, we're looking at it from a detached viewpoint. So yeah, I can see, things will come up and grab me out of the blue, and I'll say, did I just say that? And I'll look at myself and kind of sheepishly say, no, I didn't really mean that. But yeah, we all have those days, man. When the energies are really hitting hard in your chart, you can be pulled right back down.
Stephanie says bipolar discernment.
I love it. I love it. You just coined a new phrase, Stephanie. Thank you.
Oh my God. Bang, spot on. Yes. Amy agrees too.
Totally.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Well, is Charlico and Chiron, or do they have anything to do with discernment, or
Chariclo is the spouse of Chiron. Chiron was the masculine wounded healer, and Chariclo was the feminine healer. And she was a shaman, and she helped Chiron heal. And that's really, right now we've got Charlico right there where Saturn is at, which I find very interesting. We're having that Saturn squaring the nodes, and Chariclo is there with Saturn, which I find very interesting.
Can I say, if I could count on how many times I've spoken, and I say women just because that's just who I am in friendship with more, obviously, but the number of women who are healers, who are helping their partners or men in their lives to evolve and come up through. And it just seems to be a theme right now. And so it's really interesting to me that you just said that. It's like, and I don't want to like call anyone out. It could be the opposite. It could be a male with the more feminine energy who's helping females to heal as well. So let's just say divine feminine and masculine,
Right, the divine feminine and masculine, because we have both. It's just
Yes.
it's making that, and it's been a patriarchal society for so long, and I think it's great that the divine feminine is coming back and being recognized, because that was the medicine women. Back in the Indian days, it was the medicine women. They were the healers, and I think both can be healers, but it just depends. I mean, we do look at things. There is a difference. You have to find that balance where you can be compassionate and yet still be aggressive enough to stand up for yourself. I mean, there's a lot to it on deeper spiritual levels that you work through when you do the shadow work.
And so many lessons too. Like Lynda, you were asking, can someone like devolve? Can someone kind of swing back and forth? But I think it may, just what I'm receiving is it may feel or look like that, but it's always part of our path, right? And always part of our lessons that we need to learn. So maybe some of us have to go backwards, so quote unquote, in order to relearn or to learn a different part of that lesson. I don't know. That's
according to retrograde. That's when the planets go in retrograde. It goes back over those points. So they get a bad rap, but you know what? It's giving you a chance to look at it again, maybe see it from a higher perspective, and then totally heal it. You think you healed it, but now we're going to take you up to the next level. But I believe, and I don't know if I like this or not, but I believe every level that you go to, it brings up more healing. So I ain't quite sure I like that, but it does. It does.
Well, the energies and these alignments that are like once in a lifetime, and have, like you're saying, all these different things are lining up, and that hasn't happened before. Like that's a whole nother. Plus, we've got the frequencies coming in. Like that's a whole new way to support another level of healing. Like we weren't able to go there before. The frequencies wouldn't support it before, and now these alignments are supporting. Like, I don't know what's below the dungeon basement,
Nothing,
like
nothing,
the core of the
nothing.
earth, like,
It's just, if you don't turn it into a treasure trove and you don't transform it on the inside, you're going to have to go down and dust it and clean it and all that. If you use all your inner technologies, then it can be self-cleaning and you won't have to keep going down there and doing it. But until you realize you can do that and transform it yourself, that's an experience I just went through. You guys know.
And by the way, Lynda, I drained that pool. I did. I went visually and did that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Jade from View is shouting. Just kidding. I see her next comment. You can't heal someone that doesn't want to heal. Yes, absolutely. And she's not shouting. She's just trying to make her point there. Either that or cap locks was stuck, which is what I do. I wanted to just shift for 1 second, if just pivot for a minute, because I wanted to get into the discernment, because there's some things that have come up in the last couple days, and you've probably heard it if you haven't seen it all over the news. In New York, that shooting on the subway, right? Supposed shooting, alleged shooting. Okay. And I'm saying this because I'm going to show you something. If you guys all want to see it, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you want to see, the video they've been showing on the news. If you want to see the whole video, the part where they're putting fake blood down on the ground and stuff like that. Yeah, I actually have the whole video here. We got it from Telegram, and it's being discerning. They're putting it all over the news. They have an agenda. So it's like people that can't see yet. If you're still watching mainstream media, or you're still caught in the narrative of like, oh my God, what's going on? It's so easy to get caught up in that. And I know people that are awake that are actually thinking that people got shot and killed, and they didn't. There was fake blood. Like it was literally crisis actors. And I'm calling it out, and I'm saying it. And I'm also going to say, with that on the other side, I'm going to say, if I get banned from YouTube, you can find me over on Rumble with the same name, or go to my website. I guess it'd be a good time now to put some of these. There you go. Run the banner across. If you guys want to see that, let's see where they show. Okay. You want to see, getting comments. All right. I'm going to just take a quick minute from here. I'm going to put this up. There we go. Now I'm going to pause this at one point and show you. This is the beginning. This is where you start seeing it from the news, right about here. Oh, and everybody's scared. I'm going to point out something. You're running from a mass shooter. Why are you standing here? Why are you hanging around? Oh, there's a shooter in there. See the person right there? That's the fake blood. I should have stopped it right before that. He just put fake blood on there, and he's going to do a photo op with these guys that are supposed to be injured. Keep watching. This little photo op. That's not on the news. Let's hang out here. There's a guy in here with a gun. And watch over here. Somebody else is putting blood on the ground over here. Right there. If you stop it and you zoom in, you can see it's blood. Now watch, she's going to go in the cart and say, can we get paid now? No, I'm just kidding. Look. Where are you? Where are you at? When you stop this video and zoom in, you can see that right there is a pouch of fake blood. Okay. So you guys all saw that, right?
Big time distractions right now, because again, it's a spiritual warfare, and it's light and dark, and the dark is scrambling because they know they're going down.
They're panicking, and I have to say, I just have to say, the discernment part of it, when you see stuff on the news or you see big events like this, or events that they make really, really big, do not get sucked into it. I was watching with my mom on the evening news. She said it was on the 6 o'clock news, and I thought, all right, I'll check it out on the evening, because I don't like to watch the news. It just pulls my energy the wrong way. And I watched it, and I'm literally saying, do they look like they're running from a mass shooting to you? Something's off here. Like, and they repeated the video. They showed it a couple times. You know how they like to do that. And it's like, you have to be discerning. And I almost got in a fight with my mom, like, because she's just like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not saying anything to you. I'm saying something stinks in Denmark. And then I got the video this morning. So of course I had to say, look, we have to be able to know that they're staging things. So don't let that get you upset. There's a lot of things that are going to try to pull you back into the narrative, like fact checkers, and pull you back into the narrative somehow. Don't let it get you. Don't fall for it. So sorry if that was a little off topic, but I really wanted to bring that in with the discernment piece tonight, because it's important. Crazy distractions. Yes.
And a lot of that's happening too, because think about it again, that's a Pisces lower expression. Let's play on people's emotions in whatever ways we can. So how many things out there are going on that they're using it to tug on heartstrings? You all know, if anybody sees any of that, it's a lot of it. And it's just to distract from what's really going on, that this is a spiritual warfare. And they're losing. Now they're scrambling.
And I think it's a generational thing too, to believe what the news tells you, just because we were brought up that way, to believe exactly what the news tells you. And the thing is, there is an agenda. They want to take the guns away. I mean, you guys know in Australia, they had COVID camps, right?
Yes.
They're calling them not concentration camps, but COVID camps. They took all the guns away from the people. They were able to do that. The people couldn't fight back. They weren't afraid of them. So yes, they're trying to take the guns. There's somewhere between 30 and 40 different bills right now in Congress, waiting for, I guess, whichever mass event. I don't know if they're waiting for an astrological alignment. I don't know what you think, Bev, if there's anything that's going to support their end of it, but I don't think so. Like, all of these alignments and conjunctions feel like it's supporting nothing but truth coming out, truth being told. And it's up to us to be able to discern, to say, yeah, okay, they've been trying to take our guns away every time there's a shooting of this or that or whatever. Every time they do that, they try to push for gun control. Why do you think that is? So like, you got to really just feel into it and don't believe the BS out there.
And there are dates and certain aspects that the dark side uses to do things on. I mean, as we all know, certain dates and things like that. So they play their game, but it's to the point now that the spiritual support is there. And, people are going to start waking up and really realize. And I think over the next 3 weeks, there's going to be a lot with this Uranus being in there, in that mix of everything. It's going to shake things up and really start waking people up. And I think it has been. I've seen a lot happen, a lot of people seeming to look at things differently in many, many different positions in the last couple of weeks, even, or month. April's been a very interesting month. At the end of March, I think, was too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I was just wondering what's going to happen when the eclipses start, because aren't the eclipses supposed to be luminous, or is that something that they put into the subconscious that we're supposed to fear it? Is this something that's more beneficial to us? Kind of like a reset of the field. Isn't that what happens with the sun? It resets the field, but watch out right in the middle of it. Or is that actually more beneficial? I don't know anymore. I just know, how do you feel about the eclipses and what energies it brings in?
I'm getting ready to do a deep dive on that Taurus eclipse that's coming up on the 30th. And being as it's in Taurus, okay, that's also where our north node is at too. Taurus is ruled by Venus. It's everything we value, what matters to us. So it's shaking that up because Uranus is in there too. So you've got those couple planets in there, and you've got the north node in there. So things are being shook up. Yeah. So that I really want to do a little deeper dive and talk probably a lot on the eclipse next time we come on, because I want to dig a little deeper into it. There's been so much going on, and it's been hitting me so hard that, yeah, this is about as far as I've gotten to, is just the next few days up until about the 18th. But yeah, the eclipse is coming in, and I'll talk about that and a few other conjunctions and aspects that we have next time, if that's okay.
No, absolutely. You said that earlier. I didn't mean to like dig for that, but
No,
it's just coming up that we have so much going on right now. It's almost like you can't keep track of it. I know I can't keep track of it. I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, it's like, all right, we got a full moon, but we got something else going on. We got this conjunct and that, and it's like mind blowing. Everything's mind blowing. So like, Watch the Waters. That documentary was mind blowing to me. Like, there's not a lot that can surprise me anymore. You know, we've all been through. Everybody watching here knows. You two both know. Like, there's so much that we have heard and been through and seen and witnessed to and observed in our lives that really nothing can surprise us anymore, right? We're on the side of discernment, of truth, and we know what resonates, and it's multidimensional. We've seen a lot, okay? Not bragging, just saying. So when you see something like that documentary that comes out and you go like, holy shit, really? It just blows my mind. Like I'm telling you, there's not a lot that can stop me in my tracks these days.
Yeah, exactly.
That
when
got
you hear something, when you hear something like that and it hits you at that level, yeah, because we've seen a lot, and I don't know, our perspective has changed as we've grown and stuff. So yeah, you don't think anything can surprise you, and then something will sneak up every once in a while, and you'll go, never saw it coming. So there's the surprises with Uranus right in there in that. Yes. Okay.
Is Uranus have to do with waters as well? Because I feel like the whole water thing, the Watch the Water thing started with a Q drop, right? Watch the Waters. And everybody thought there was going to be a war in the water. Something was going to happen. Oh, it's the shipping containers. It's this, it's that. It's all. No, it's not. It's a documentary about the truth about what COVID really is and what remdesivir. Oh, I shouldn't even say that. Like I said, if I get hammered off this channel, you guys know where to find me. Or we'll just go to Sherry's channel. But seriously, like finding the truth about these things, it's uncovering stuff. But here's the thing: the people that are kind of aware of what's going on or can't really be surprised, like it might be mind blowing. It might tip you a little bit for a little, but the people that had absolutely no clue, they're probably going to reject it at first until it's unrejectable because it's too much to handle. Because I know how, Bev, when we were talking, we were kind of just like, really?
Yeah, I hadn't been shocked like that in about a year or so, because and it was things that I wasn't ready to hear at the time, and it took me to grow a little more before I was able to look at those things. So yeah, I know that feeling, and it wasn't that long ago. So imagine people who have no idea at all.
Annie's gonna let the cat out of the bag. I'll put that up there. Yes, it's that, but it's also the way the whole thing is woven in a short. Yeah, okay, just watch it. It's really good. King Cobra, holy shit, really? But even between okay, I could do a whole live stream on this and just go off, but I don't want to take away from the astrology aspects because I really feel like there is a lot of water, which to me feels like a lot of emotional things. So people that maybe they will reject it. Maybe they're rejecting losing control of their emotions because it feels like a lot of this watery stuff has to do with emotional
and
unstabilization.
Everything in Pisces, that's the emotions, that's the water. But we have the spiritual support right there in that water too, with Neptune and Jupiter, because they are both the co-ruling planets of Pisces. So it's got like having the home team there standing out in the fence going, okay, here's the emotional stuff, deal with it, but here, we got your back. You may not know the solution. You may not know all the details. Follow what resonates, follow what your truth is and what feels true. Spirit's got your back. That's
Yeah, like,
what a lot of it's about, trusting.
I feel like people who maybe aren't as comfortable in that emotional space will be coming forward, or it's easier for them to come forward too. It's easier for them to express, just because the people around them are like, we're all starting to evolve a bit, and with the energies too supporting that, like you were saying, with the emotional piece and Pisces and Uranus, or right? Uranus.
Uranus, yeah.
Uranus.
However you say it.
Awakener.
Just kidding.
What's that? Uranus. Sorry.
No, I said Uranus. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Lynda.
It's been a day, you guys. It's been a day.
It has been. It has
I love
been.
you, Sherry. Okay, wait. What was the last question?
I don't remember what I was saying. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, with the emotions.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have the emotions, and then we have all that in Pisces, and then over in Taurus, which is a few signs over. So they're making sextiles, and sextiles and trines are all beneficial. So we have a lot of support coming in. We have it from Venus, we have it for Mercury, then we have that Mercury conjunct Uranus, which is the linear mind and the cosmic mind. Uranus will jolt you awake and out of that linear mind and make you look at the other sides of things and heal those wounds. And if you go into it openly and intentionally, you have all the support you need to do it right now. So if you want to take that deep dive, do it. Now is the time. But it can be painful. So, I don't know how to explain that any more than that. Yeah, growth is painful, but that's where the growth comes from. And the evolution is facing whatever it is that hits you that deep, that Chiron wound, that core wound. And it comes back to that a lot of times. That Chiron core wound comes around in many different forms and many different situations, people. Yeah, there's a lot to.
I had on that, Bev, I had heard something, I don't know where it read it or heard it, but that with the way we're with the energies and the alignments coming up in the next year, and maybe you said this, that those of us who have heavy Chiron charts, or you know what I mean, or heavy Chiron heavy in our chart, and have done so much work, are really going to be, that's going to be front and center for us. In other words, like we're going to be really having to, and I don't want to sound like we're saviors or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about, but we're going through that for a purpose, because with the alignments, is that accurate? That
yes, those charts, those of us that came in with heavier charts in certain aspects, yeah, we have been put through it. And because we came here to get this done and to do it, but to be where we're at and to be able to help and have that empathy and compassion and unconditional love to help others, we had to go through this stuff. And that's why it's been so hard.
Because I know people with that on their chart are getting slammed, myself, yes. We've been slammed. So I'm thinking that just based on what you're saying tonight, that there's got to be, like, this is heavy alignments that's happening right now. Like, and there's always the peak. It feels like the peak. So there's got to be something on the other side of that, right?
Yeah. Yes. Scotty boy's asking that. What's on the other side of your anus? Is that a joke? I feel like that's a joke. If that's a joke, then you better put the punchline in there, Scotty. Sorry to interrupt, Sherry.
No problem.
Well, like I said, I know there's more ahead for the rest of the month, and I really want to get into that solar eclipse. But I tell you, I've been diving down some rabbit holes with some new ways of looking at some of the things in the charts that I'm doing too. Doing a little more with Chiron and Cheroklo, and looking at some different ways of viewing charts and putting other factors in there too. So I'm learning new ways of doing this, so I can see this working in my life. Sorry. Yeah, I can see it working in my life,
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. No problem.
I'm in a different environment, and I'm.
It's no problem. It just sounded like you swatted it, like, and the alarm goes off, and you're mad, and you knock it across the table. Like,
oh my gosh! Yeah,
so it's all the adjustments and the changes.
Always a phone with me. I don't know what it is. So, yeah.
Okay, he doesn't want to tell us the punchline, you guys. Scotty,
Uh,
All right. Well,
so
there
what
we
is
go.
this trust in
It's
spirit?
oh, sorry, I was just gonna say awkward silence there. That's either quarter of or quarter after, and it is. It's 7:45.
7:45. Yes,
That's funny.
yes.
All right.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah, with this, can you talk more about Charlico? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah,
Charlico. Okay.
Charlo. She was discovered. I'll have to go back. I think it was in the 90s. I think I've got a little more information on it. I just didn't have it. I didn't know you were going to ask me. But she was a shapeshifter and in mythology, and she helped Chiron heal his wound. And she became like the feminine. She became like the feminine shaman who helped people heal. And she worked with Chiron. She helped him heal, and then it's a way of bringing the masculine and the feminine together. That's why she was not discovered until recently. I wish I could remember the date, but she came on the scene as each thing is discovered. It's like it comes on the scene in time for where we're at in our evolution. So I think the divine feminine part of Chiron divine masculine came on board right on time, and this is where we need to look at to heal and to bring the balance between the divine masculine and the feminine. And once you heal that Chiron wound, that's where you take it forward and you're able to teach and share the experience.
That's beautiful. Okay. I remember you had spoken a little bit about when you did my chart, and I haven't had a chance to research into that, but yeah, that's what's happening now on the planet too, that balance of divine feminine and masculine. So that's awesome. Wow.
So it's which way you turn. That's what's funny about it, because you had that Mars and Venus conjunction, which stayed for a month, and that never happens. And now you've got Charlico coming on the scene. You've got the feminine energy coming in with all that energy in Pisces. I mean, it's coming through, and we've got the spiritual support. So yeah, it's a very big time right now, and a lot of it's going inside and just really doing the work. I know it's not easy.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yes, and I think, am I done with this yet? Okay, this has got to be the last possible way this could come up. And then God sits back and goes, no, I don't think so. I came up with a new scenario.
We're like enough already.
Wait a minute, I got better plans.
Yeah, amazing. Wow. Well, I can't wait to see you're going to be talking about the eclipse. I can't wait to see what's coming up with that. That's going to be pretty powerful stuff. We've had so many eclipses this year and last year. I don't know.
How many are coming up? Is this a season of like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not putting you on the spot for like a direct number, but is there a couple of them that are more than one that's coming up?
There's more than one. There's usually like 4 in a year. I think that's the normal. And last year we had 6.
Yeah.
So it was putting some of this in motion. That's why this is the beginning of eclipse season for this calendar year. So this is the first eclipse for this year, and then with the new Aries cycle, the astrological year too. So this kicks it off, and that's why I want to take a little deeper dive and see, okay, how many of the eclipses do we have, and what's the progression going to be? That's why I want to take a little further look at it before I talk about exactly, because yeah, they're big things. I've got a book just on eclipses that I've been studying and looking at different dates when eclipses came in, what happened in history when we had those eclipses. Because you'll have an eclipse point come in, and then each planet goes around, and as they hit that, when Mars hits an eclipse point, it's like it steps up that lesson. So it's like a second chance. Okay, so you're learning at that eclipse point, and when Mars comes back around at an eclipse point, it brings it back to life, and you know more about the lessons and the things that the eclipse brought up. So yeah, there's a whole thing on eclipses that I'd like to go into. I may even do a class on it too, because it's another passion, something not a lot of people do. They don't dig into the eclipses to the level that I want to.
I can't wait for your classes too, because like I said, just your love for astrology is making me, it's contagious, and I want to learn too. I'm going to mention too that Sarah just opened up her website. She does astrology readings as well. I just want to give her a shout out because she's in the tribe. She's over there in Kansas. Sarah, the seed dropper.
Sarah, yeah.
Yeah. And so she does Reiki. She does quantum signature healing. She learned from me and Sherry, and she's doing sessions for that and mentoring, and she's a photographer. So she's combining all of that. And she just published her website today. So I think
check it out.
I'm pretty sure it's theseeddropper.com. And I'm going to do a proper shout out on the next video I make, and I'm going to put it up in letters and all of that so that everybody can get her website. And I'm going to actually put her on my community page on my site when I finish it, but it's not done yet. So yeah, it's just nice to see everybody doing that. It's very contagious when you share your love and your passion. And Sherry just went out. I'm having a feeling her phone might have died because she usually pops right back on. But yeah, when you share your love and your passion, it's contagious. Like other people want to know, what are you doing? You teach us, So when you get your classes ready, I know you've already got students lined up for you, Bev. So
yes,
if you
I'm
guys,
looking forward to it, just to empower people to be able, once you look at your chart and you just get the basics down, you memorize your charts, when you hear something come in and you think, wait a minute, I better go look. Where's that hitting me at? I kind of know where everything's at. And I think it helps a lot on a daily basis, weekly basis.
Yeah, it is. Even like if you learn tarot cards or something and you do readings for yourself or whatever, you start out by practicing by doing readings for yourself. So it's the same thing, I guess, with astrology when you're learning it.
Yes,
you got me learning like, well, what does that mean? Like, I wanted to ask you more about the Sabian symbols tonight or what, I have no idea what that even means. I hear it frequently when I listen to the readings, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what their symbols are. I mean, is it just a way of reading astrology, in symbols instead of
yeah, it's just it's like a sentence or something for each degree. And I've got a book that researches the history of them, and I want to dig a little deeper into that, but I got the printout of each degree, and I've been using that a little more in some of the things that I've been doing because it like tells the story, and you see where that is at in your chart, and then you kind of get an idea, and you can put it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. It gives you like little clues. I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it.
And
So
I guess it's probably layered. Sorry.
That's all right.
It's probably layered too. So like one interpretation, there might be another level of that interpretation, just like a lot of things are. It speaks to the level that you're at, right?
Exactly. Because you can look at it and you can see when it comes through your chart, when something hits that particular point, and you can look at it and write it down. The next time it comes around in your chart, you can look and write down things. So journaling helps a lot too. And with the Sabian symbols, yeah, journaling is a must. You kind of write down and kind of watch and see what hits for you in those particular meanings. It may have a different meaning each time it comes around. It's a progressive energy thing, is the way I look at it.
Interesting. I thought you said German at first. That's why I was like, wait, what does that have to do with it? Are they German symbols?
Sorry about that.
No, that's just me. I have new earbuds in, so I don't have to wear what Sherry likes to call my Princess Leia headphones.
I'm not saying anything.
It's okay. Great. Great. I like my headphones. Old ones. Maybe I'll wear them. See, just this is for Sherry, in case you're watching over there and you haven't popped back on yet. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I've got a pair too.
Yeah, they're really good because they're counseling. You know what I mean?
Yes, I like that noise canceling, so you don't hear. Yeah.
She had a connection drop, so yeah, that's fine. If you're here and you can hear us, you feel free to jump back on if you want or not. That's fine. I think we're probably going to be wrapping up soon. I do want to put it out there to you guys watching, anyone watching. If you have any questions about the astrology coming up or anything Bev talked about tonight, other than the eclipses, feel free to drop it in the comments now or ask or anything you want to know before we get going tonight, because it always brings up a lot, I think, whenever there's some kind of conjunction or aspect or something going on. If you don't know enough about the planet, it's like when you said it perfect one time when you said it to me, you said, well, that's someone else joining the conversation. And I laugh every time because now I think of the planets because they are like consciousness beings. They're higher, evolved beings. Right. So there's someone else joining the conversation. It's like, what do they have to say now? Like, are they telling us, okay, you're going to get some truth, and how are you going to discern this truth? Like, for example, watch the waters. If you're going to watch this, and are you going to use discernment? Are you ready for the truth? Here you go. Let's get you back on course. Like chop, chop, get with the program. It's not like this is the first time this has come out. Actually, you find out in the documentary, people have talked about what he's putting together for you many times when COVID started. But
it's the pieces and parts all coming together, which is which is kind of how this is working out with the layout of the aspects and the full moon and then the eclipse. It's all being laid into place. Dots are being connected. Things are coming out. You may not know the whole truth at first. It'll take a little discernment, but the pieces are going to start being connected and things are going to fall into place.
Yes. And Annie, she did.
Dropped into the galactic void. I happen to see that because you posted it. I can't see comments on mine for some reason.
That's funny. Yep, she dropped into the galactic void. Sometimes that's right. When I'm in the back of Sherry's and she's doing it, I can't see them if I don't have it set up right. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. It depends if you use your phone too. You can't really see it if you use your phone. So if you're not with your laptop.
Computer shopping. Yeah, computer shopping in about a week.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right.
So anything, all right, are we talking about always the spiritual work of things, the inner work, the clearing, the purging, like it all feels so heavy and muddy. What do we got that's light and positive? And like, let's end this with like, what's positive? I know we were talking earlier. I said, well, I have to end it on something positive. What was I saying? I don't remember. Can you remind me?
Well, I look at it as like, with that Neptune and Jupiter conjunction, it's bringing in all the support. And it's just going to be using discernment. You've got the Libra full moon coming in. It's going to help you with that. And you have Mercury and Uranus talking to each other and trying to come to that bridge between the linear and the cosmic mind. So we have so much support. Yes, it's heavy with that, but you learn to move through it and let it flow through you. And it's easier. We're more supported right now than we've ever been.
Yeah, it sure feels like that. And there is a lot of people that emotionally, when these things come and it's time to up level and they're just not ready for it, that's when they like hit a wall. That's when people react with, like, say, gaslighting, for example. They'll react with that because then they'll be like in denial that they're the ones doing what they're doing, and they'll try to tell you it's you and all that kind of stuff. I did a video on gaslighting. It's on my channel if you haven't seen it yet. I said it's called Gaslighting is Expensive and has a picture of a gas can on the front, but it has nothing to do with the price of gas.
I'll have to look. I hadn't seen it.
It's just a reference, but it talks all about when people that were gaslighting at the time, and it's I think you know what? Check in the description or the first link, because I think I pinned the time in the pin link. Pin the time. I think I put the time in a pinned link when I start talking about gaslighting, because it might be like the first 6 to 8 minutes I'm just rambling. So unless you want to hear all that, just skip to the good part.
That's fine. I'll have to take a look.
Oh, I got to tell you this too. Did I tell you about the tree that got struck by lightning there? That's the video where I'm recording. You can see the tree in the background is not black. Like, it's a regular tree, just out of winter, And
yes.
That's where I did my Mudra emotion. Yeah, that's the same tree in that video that's now pitch black.
Oh, wow.
It got struck by lightning.
Yeah, I was playing that back and showing it to Diane because she had missed it that night. And I said, you won't believe what happened to this tree. So, yeah, I was showing that to her earlier.
Oh,
that's pretty amazing. When you get signs, you get them,
Totally seeing the gaslighting from others' experiences makes me discern more from within. Yes, Stephanie, right. I didn't even know what gaslighting was. Like, and people, I didn't realize I had been gaslit many times in my life. I didn't realize if I did that to other people. But once you're aware of something, again, it's a higher level of understanding. You can then stop those behaviors and catch yourself and not do it anymore. It's simple, but how much of it can people do if they're not emotionally ready to handle something? And the emotional part, if they're not ready to handle, is because they haven't healed something. Because if you heal something, then you're ready to deal with the emotions and then feel them fully to let them go. Instead of, you're not healed, you start to feel the emotions and then you just project them out onto somebody else because you don't want to deal with it. It's like sticking something under the carpet or putting it in a drawer and shutting the door.
Well, it's like Chiron. You could either be the wounded healer or you could be wounded and be wounding other people. Until you've healed that Chiron wound, you're walking around wounding everybody else. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So Chiron's actually like the king of the gaslighting in his lower expression?
In his lower expression, yeah, Chiron is the wounded healer. And if you haven't healed that wound, you're going around projecting onto everybody else. That's why you have to heal that wound to be able to take that higher perspective.
Wow.
Chiron's a big player.
Wow. Knowing is half of it. Yes, Scotty. That's right. Let's put that one up. There you go. Time on the board. Good Good point. Good point. All right. I don't see any questions from you guys for Bev, so I guess we'll start wrapping this down. All right. I didn't realize that banner was still running. There we go. Well, thank you all for being here with us.
Yes,
And
thank you.
I'll leave it open. If you do come up with a question before we kick off, I will definitely give the time for the answer on that one. But if not, Bev, can we send people? You're still taking appointments now, right? You're still doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm still doing.
and your appointments, they're cool too, because it's not. I don't think it's just like a chart reading. Like you really put your heart and soul into everything you do, and you're just really, really wise. So, like, if you have an appointment with Bev, if you're sitting there with a session, get a notebook and write stuff down when she's telling you. And that way, because I went back to the first session that I had with you, and I went back and I was reading some things, and I was just like, I am so glad I took notes. There's a couple things I wish I wrote more, because I know I was asking you questions later, like, wait, what was this? But it would just be a really, really good idea to take notes when Bev starts going, because she's
when it comes, I
gifted.
can't stop it. It just kind of comes through. But yeah, that's why I send a chart out to the people I do the readings for, so that way I can kind of show you, give you a little bit of what I'm talking about, and show you the chart and kind of make you familiar with it. But then I do need to do an in-depth class too, and that's why I'm going to go computer shopping.
Yeah, well, you'll get it. It's the right time, I think. There was something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, Stephanie's saying Chiron King Healer. Well, that's his higher expression, King Healer and King Gaslighter.
Yes. It's the empath and the narcissistic relationship. Narcissists are always drawn to empaths, and it's healing that wound. That's part of that. That's part of that wound. I learned that over my years, the last few.
You just blew my mind open again. Wow, today's like a day of just whoa, light bulb moments. Gaslighters. Wait, what did you say? Narcissists are always drawn to empaths.
And people who are sensitive and feel energy. Yeah, they are, because
I feel that with so much truth. It's like energy running down my body, like all down the side of my body. It's like, yep, that's truth.
Because they want to put your light out, and they like what you have, but from the narcissistic level, they can't have it. They don't like themselves, and yeah, it's bad.
And a lot of something we don't have
to save everybody.
So the empath would have the compassion, because they would feel what they're feeling. Oh, feel bad for me. The narcissist would tell a whole story about their whole life, about how bad they had it, and so bad, feel bad for me, feel bad for me. And the empath would just be like, oh, let me heal you.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. You just explained something else that shed some light on something else just with that one statement. Thank you, Bev.
Oh, you're welcome.
See how good she is, you guys? All right. Very good. All right, you guys. Thank you. Don't be food. Just that's going to be my new tagline. Just don't be food.
I like that.
Now I got to keep just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. I'm stuck on that one. I think that one. And don't be food.
Say it all the time.
You know what? I think just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday, and don't be food. You guys will know where that came from. New people that are coming on the video will be like, what the hell is she talking about?
What she talking about? Yeah.
I love it. Oh, Scotty had the same shock go up his body. So Scotty, it's truth then. See, you got to schedule a session with Bev and have your chart read. And we'll go from there. So, all right, I think we should wrap this up. I feel bad that Sherry got kicked off, but we love you, Sherry. Thank you for being here. And
Bev, glad you made it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in and watching, and just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. And Bev, what's the next line? Don't be food.
Don't be food. Sorry. I'm running a little slow today, Lynda.
No, we're working this out now. Next time we'll say this one there.
Got it.
Perfect. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night. Take care.
Have a great night.